Welcome to another episode of Movies and Us. I'm TJ.
And I'm Marcus.
And this is the review show that reviews genre movies from the beginning. Sometimes I know that's not what we're doing this month, but that's the intro. So
we're doing that this month, I would say.
yeah, this is still theme month, and we're on my second movie.
Boo.
Greatest movie ever, Marcus?
Boo.
My theme is dark fantasy movies, and this week we're covering the 1985-1986. It was released in both years, which was weird. Of Legend.
Boo. Yes, the one with Tom Cruise. I'm glad you specified the date because there's multiple movies named Legend for some weird reason.
Yeah, we'll get into that, but this is the one directed by Ridley Scott, written by William either Hortzberg or Hjortsberg. Not sure which pronunciation it is.
Jorts. I have no idea.
Produced by Arnon Milchan, starring Tom Cruise, Mia Sara, Tim Curry, David Bennett, Alice Playton, Billy Barty, Cork Hubbard, Peter O'Farrell, Annabelle Lanyon, Kieran Shaw, and Robert Picardo.
Picardo.
Excuse me. The movie was, well...
Yeah.
Okay. So the version we watched was the director's cut, which was 114 minutes or 154 minutes, I think it was. Total, I wrote down. Yeah, 154
Long,
minutes. Yeah. The international cut, the European cut, was 93 minutes, which is an hour 33. And then the original US theatrical cut was only 89 minutes, which was an hour 29.
I'd rather watch that one.
And actually, I know you wouldn't. Apparently, it's so bad.
Couldn't have been as bad as this one.
Yes, it could have. It's actually way worse. So the box office is weird too. Everything's weird about this movie.
Yeah.
So the budget was $24.5 million, and the worldwide box office that we found is $23.5 million. But the box office that it's ranked in, which we're going to get to, is what was $15.5 million. It made
15. It landed very low at $15.5 million. We use Box Office Mojo to rank all this stuff. We tried to use the international ratings, but they didn't have it for some reason. They just had domestic.
It was just domestic, so. Which put it at, 50?
And places at more 56.
6. But if it was at 23, like it said, it would have been higher on the list. So
ideally, yeah, if everything else was properly.
Yeah, I don't know. So,
but yeah, speaking of box, I'm not going to do box. We've done this box up so many times.
How many? We only did it twice, didn't we?
Aliens and
which means
Howard the Duck.
We would have done different.
Well, I guess we didn't go all the way down here, so we could do a top 60 to 50, I guess.
Yeah, well, I found the top 60 to 50 to be interesting. That's why I'm making you do it ahead.
Well, number 60 was the Mosquito Coast.
Wait, what year are you in?
I'm in. Hold on. Yeah, I'm in 86.
No, I'm in 86 on Box Office Mojo.
Same.
And I got a different list than you.
Really?
Yeah. What's your top? What's 60 for you?
The Mosquito Coast at $14.3 million.
So at the domestic box office that I have for 1986.
I am worldwide box office.
Oh, I'm in domestic box office.
Yes, okay. Yes.
I was about to say, because the domestic box office is interesting.
Want me to do mine? You do yours?
Yeah, sure. So, your 60 was what?
The Mosquito Coast, wherever the movie that is. Well,
mine was the re-release of Sleeping Beauty.
Mine's all the way up top for that one, I think.
14.5.
Never mind. For that one, Sleeping Beauty, mine's at 58.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Dead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to. Yeah. That's weird. For number 59, I have Psycho 3.
I have the re-release of Lady and a Tramp. That's why I found this interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so 58 was my Sleeping Beauty.
Mine was Young Blood.
Okay, so 57 was my Young Blood.
Well, 57 on this one's Legend.
Weird. So 56 is Legend for me.
Armed and Dangerous for me.
That's my 55.
Raw Deal.
That's my 54.
Howard the Duck.
53.
The re-release of Song of the South.
Wow, 52 for me is The Mission.
52 for me is The Delta Force.
Okay, so 51 is Song of the South re-release for me.
51's JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Colin.
Oh yeah, so that's really different. And then for me, 50 is Delta Force.
And then 50 is White Knights.
White Knights. You said Lady and Tramp was up there for you?
Yeah, 59, the re-release.
Wow, worldwide it was 33.
Interesting how low it was on the domestic box office.
And I wonder why that did better worldwide than Sleeping Beauty. I guess it's more because it's dogs and like no humans. So I guess it's more like
I think because Sleeping Beauty is 1940s and Sleeping and Lady and the Tramp was 1970s.
Yeah,
it was a more recent movie, and everyone didn't see it 1,000 times.
So domestic top 5 for you. What's your top 5 for domestic?
All right, hold on.
So now I'm curious because I'll do mine for number 5 is Star Trek 4: The Voyage Home.
For number 1?
For number 5.
Oh, for number 5.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me is Aliens.
It's number 7 for me. Number 4 is Karate Kid Part 2.
Back to School.
Really? That's number 6. Interesting.
Wait. Which number 4 is Back to School for me?
Karate Kid Part 2. Number 4. Number 3 for me is Splatoon.
No, number 3 for me is The Karate Kid Part 2.
Okay, Crocodile Dundee at number 2 for me?
Yes.
Okay, what's number 1? Top Gun, I guess?
Top Gun.
Man, that movie I have to watch it. Apparently, I know it's not going to age well, so I don't want to watch it, TJ.
What, Top Gun?
Yes. Everyone says it's really good, but it's an 80s movie about being in the Air Force, the American Air Force. I just can't imagine that aging well.
I think See, Top Gun's different than different ones because they fight like a no-name, undisclosed national things. They're not fighting Russia or something like that. It's very like fantasy in that respect, where it's just like almost timeless because you're fighting against a mysterious enemy, not some national one. I think, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And at its core, I believe it's a love story.
That's what I believe too. I don't know much about the movie.
I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of it because, like, it came out in 1986, and I think last time I seen it was 1993.
Oh wow!
So it's been a long time since I've seen it. But I do remember the romance being a big thing. There was a lot of also homoerotic stuff in it.
Yes,
I remember.
Tarantino's notorious for making that statement in one of his movies. And Top Gun 2 dominated the box office for a long time. So that's why I'm just like, these can't be that good.
I remember Top Gun being really good. That was right in the midst of Tom Cruise at his best. Yeah, he did A Few Good Men, I think, around that time too. It was like he was really hitting a stride, making some really, really good movies at the time.
Well, Tom Cruise in this movie too. It's funny in Legend. So yeah, well, he had 2 movies come out this year, then, huh? At least 2.
Well, technically, Legend came out in 1985, but
he looks so young.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, "Is this one of his first movies?" But then, he looks really, really young in Legend.
He does. Like I thought it was like baby. Well, the first movie I remember him. It's not his debut, but he was in what's the Pony Boy one? Stay Golden Pony Boy. It's based off a book. The Outsiders, I think, right?
The Outside, maybe.
I think that's the one he's in when he's younger.
I don't know. Yeah. The Outsiders is like a classic too.
It's a good movie. It's really good. Yeah,
it's classic. Almost on the long lines of what's the one with the musical?
Grease.
No, with the sharks and
they just remade it recently. Spielberg directed it. I want to watch it. It's a musical. Suddenly Maria. What's it called?
West Side Story.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's along those lines as far as classics go. The Outsiders.
I would say, I would say the same. Yeah. I like musicals, guys. I can't say that enough. I do enjoy good musicals. There's a lot of shit ones out there, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the box office.
Yeah, it's the box office, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so I guess we're diving into the behind the scenes stuff with this.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
Yeah, I skimmed it. I was like, if I cared about the movie, I would have read it all and given it a shit, but I just don't care. So it's all you, buddy.
Like, to begin with, there was 3 cuts.
Yes, I know Tom Cruise wasn't happy with the American one, so he didn't want to talk about it for years. And he would always suggest watch the director's cut.
Right, which is the one we watch. But each cut also had a different ending.
Honestly, I was reading that. I gravitated towards the middle one, the American one. Like, that ending seemed really better to me.
The end, we'll talk about the version that we got
when we get to it, I guess.
When we get to it, but in the American version, it's happy ending. The 2 main stars end up together happily ever after, or is it? Because the bad guy is laughing from the void at the end.
Which I know it's cliched as shit. Trust me, I know. This whole movie's cliched as shit. But I think I would rather have had that ending than what we have gotten.
But, I mean, that ending is very sequel baity.
Which I'm fine with.
So,
I wouldn't have wanted to see a sequel, but like I think that would have been fine.
Whereas the European version is the same ending minus the sequel baiting. So.
Yes. But like okay, let me clarify this. I would have I just wanted to have Darkness, I guess, spoiler, not go out the way he did and stay out. Like him, like I don't want the sequel part of him like laughing in the void, but I still like to have him still there and being a thing.
I mean,
if that makes sense.
I think that's kind of the implications. That's kind of what the movie's saying, regardless. They defeated him this one time. He's never going to be fully gone.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, it's all an allegory for good and evil within yourself and stuff like that.
This movie.
It is tough. That's exactly what it is.
But so on the fucking nose. The guy's name is Darkness. And he just, hold your tongue, Marcus, till we start reviewing the movie.
I mean, that's what they were going for, though. They were trying to make a fairy tale, like a Brothers Grimm fairy tale.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Even if I was a kid, I would have rolled my eyes so many times at like how on the nose lazy it was.
The story is bad.
Yes. Yes. The story of the movie is atrocious.
But it's dressed up.
It makes Willow look like a fucking phenomenal, smart, innovative movie.
Dressed up prettily.
Doesn't save it though.
And I wouldn't even say
it makes it look like it's a shiny turd. So like it's a polished turd. Like that's all it is to me.
And I wouldn't even say the story's bad as much as it's
been done to death.
Cliched.
Yeah. It's been done to death. It's cliched. It's on the nose.
But just because it's cliched and on the nose, it's cliched. Those story beats are cliched and on the nose because they're good. Because they're.
I don't give a. You could have done anything else to make this more like. Don't call the guy Darkness. It's like the same reason why Avatar is bad. You call Unatanium. You don't be fucking lazy about it. You're a writer. Like, give it some other bullshit name.
Every time you say Avatar, I always think Last Airbender.
No,
and then I'm like,
Avatar.
oh, then I'm like,
yes.
Then I'm like, oh, the bad one. Okay.
No, this is the exact same thing as Avatar. Shiny ass turd, cliched fucking story. So if you like this, you have to like Avatar. If you hate Avatar, you have to hate this. Guys, it's the same.
No, you don't.
Damn.
You do not, because this has different story beats and different like completely different fantasy settings.
No. I'm saying
Avatar is very sci-fi-y. I like the fantasy tropes in this, whereas I don't like the environmental crappy propaganda tropes in that.
I know, but if like I'm just saying, like
at least this one is like evil and good and evil within someone, whereas that's just like environment and humans are bad.
Yeah, which I'm fine with. I'd rather watch that message. At least that's like real message to have, I guess. And like
what?
Save the Earth.
The evil
Save
within.
the Earth.
Even evil within people isn't real.
Oh God, it's like I don't gravitate to that, so I don't gravitate. I'll say one of my notes right now. Like this is why I hate dark fantasy movies, because a lot of times they're on cliche. It's a lot of riddles and witty bullshit you gotta do. It's not me. I'd rather play D&D than watch a 2-hour shit fest of this. I'd rather be in it. But even then in D&D, when I'm playing D&D and I get to those lazy elements of it, I get taken out of the character, taken out of the game mentally. It's like, I literally just do in my head. Like I don't care. We just play. So going back to this is like this it's not my cup of tea. So I'm like I don't mean to be harsh on these dark fantasy movies, but just don't give a I don't care. I'd rather watch again. Avatar's not a movie because of its cliches and all the baseline stupidity. It's just pretty like this, I guess. It's the same thing. It's like pretty movies.
But it's not
low tier messages. It's
really not.
Different genres, I'll give you that. But they're both, here's the genre I'm presenting. I'm not being smart about the genre I'm presenting. I want to be visually pretty with it. That's what it is. So,
well, see, I'm trying to argue with this, but I can't really have this argument with you because I've actually never seen the Avatar movie.
Oh my gosh, it's the same thing. It's just literally the same thing. It's just the Avatar version, it's that genre's version of this. It's innovatively pretty, and you watch it in theaters, awesome. I'm astounded by it. But then it's like, this is Dancing with Wolves, Pocahontas, this is all of that. So like, I got 3 hours of this to watch. The same thing with this. Like I have 2 hours of
These movies came out after this.
What do you mean?
The Pocahontas definitely came out after this.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Those movies is what Avatar is, and Last Unicorn, all the other fantasy movies is what Legend is. Like, it just took the baseline of whatever genre is going for and just wrapped up in a pretty thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't know how many of these fantasy movies were out before this movie. You know, this could be one of the first to do it. So if it's one of the first to do it, you know what I mean?
I don't think it did it well then, in my opinion. I just think it's still very lazy. I think, maybe not movie-wise, but it takes the baseline, the genre of the stories and the elements.
I'm always forgiven to movies that are first, because it's like watching, like, if you take comic book movies that we normally cover from this, like, you take even it's the first Superman movie is a great movie.
Yes,
but I'm more forgiven of that movie, even if it was terrible, because it's the first time Superman was on screen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's if it's the first time I'm being presented with something in that section, I'm more forgiving on it because I'm seeing this in a movie. You know what I mean?
I usually am too, but for some reason this one just didn't do it. I'm trying to look up dark fantasy movies like when they came out.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking.
Dark Crystal came out in 1982, a few years before this.
Yeah, but
Return of Oz was the same year as this.
But my point is, like, those are dark fantasy movies, but this type of dark fantasy movie where it's like unicorns and the devil.
Literally, The Last Unicorn came out 3 years before this, and it's the same goddamn, hey, 2 unicorns, one dies, we got a female unicorn left, she's got to see if
Is it? I don't even know what that movie is.
It's a cartoon.
Well, that doesn't count either.
That's like you're like saying, oh, it's the same thing, but it's a count. Like, come on, man.
Like my animated movies and live action movies. Like, when I see I don't judge the animated movies and the live action movies the same thing in superhero movies. Like, you could tell me the Death of Superman. They told the Death of Superman movie in animated form 1,000 times, but I'll be more forgiving of the live action version if they actually did it, even if it's terrible, because it's the first time I saw it.
Well, I get
which I am within the Batman versus Superman movie, because that's technically what it is, and it's, even though it's bad, but hey, it's the first time we're seeing Superman dead, even though it's bad. But I'm more forgiving of it because of it. It's just the rest of that movie's shit too. You know what I mean?
See, I can't be more forgiving of it. If it's bad, it's bad. Like, I get it. Maybe the first telling of that visually or whatever.
I get to see this in live action form, something that you don't expect to be in live action form.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, this might be the only opportunity you get to see of that. And that would be a shame if they never do a better version of it. But hey, at least a more general audience and stuff will get to experience that kind of story.
Yes. Labyrinth came out the year after. Willow in 88. Krull came out in 83.
I don't know what Krull is.
Lady Hawk 85.
I think
Neverending Story came out 84. Fire and Ice came out 83. The Beastmaster 82. Dragon Slayer 81.
Yeah, but those are more the Krulls and the Beastmaster.
Sword of the Sorcerer 82.
They're more along the lines of Conan, which is a completely different fantasy genre.
Excalibur 81. Like, I don't know. I get where you're coming from. I totally get where you're coming from. Even the animated Lord of the Rings came out in 78.
Yeah, but I don't count animated and live action. It's the same thing.
I do.
Because it's animated, because it's not the same. Watching something live action and watching something animated is different. And I'm not saying live action is superior to animation. I think animation is honestly the superior form of movie, to be honest with you. Because it's just, you could do anything in animation.
You can do anything, and your suspension of disbelief is higher because it's animated.
Right.
So seeing someone fly in animated movies versus seeing someone fly in real life, it's like, yeah, animated, yeah, because that's how you do it.
Right. But
you're going to judge it more so in a live action movie.
But it's more work doing it live action, and it makes me appreciate the effort. And the
Clash of Titans came out in 81. That's a good movie. I love Clash of Titans. That came out in 81.
But that's Greek mythology. That's not.
I know, but then you got the elements of that in this with
But Greek
when we get to
mythology,
him trying to fucking out with a sea monster bitch is like,
the Greek mythology, is the basis of all storytelling.
yes.
So
But
you can't say, "Oh, this is stealing from Greek mythology."
I'm not saying it's, well, yeah, I'm saying
everything-
it's stealing, but at the same time, like visually though, like I would way rather watch Clash of Titans than this movie. Black Cauldron came out in '85. Like I get where you're coming from. Your argument, like animated and live action is different. But when it comes just to story elements, this movie
This
isn't
movie
it for me.
isn't the greatest when it comes to story elements. It drags
Yes.
so much. It's like, just get to the point.
Yes.
Because there's no wonder why they were able to cut. Like, I think the original script was even longer, and
It's
they
like, I don't need that.
They cut like 2 hours out of the movie or something like
Oh my
that.
god.
But like you were saying off screen, Neil Gaiman's review is like, this would be a perfect novel.
Yes. Novel, yes. Comic, anything. It's just not movie.
Because
I think they could adapt it nowadays as be better. Maybe.
Well, yeah.
If it was more like if it was as like I think it's like just calling the guy Darkness is like just seems lazy. It just seems lazy. The story.
I don't know. I think calling someone the darkness as a general concept of what it is,
yes,
makes more sense than giving it. See, because then if you give them a name, it doesn't. It's less grand. You know what I'm saying? But I think if the movie was bigger and more epic, calling something the darkness as the actual embodiment of darkness, and it really showed that side of it, would work. You know what I mean?
Well, this movie's trying to be grand and epic.
But the problem is, it feels small because
it does.
Everything is like right next to each other.
It feels like I'm watching a shitty stage play that I just didn't want to come to. It's like watching my child, like I gotta sit through a 2-hour stage play of this shit.
It felt it is the same problem that Willow had, where everything felt like it was right next to each other.
And I get it, like budget and limitations. I understand that, and I get like during the '80s, it's harder to get that big grandiose shit going because the CGI is not there, so you got to rely on more practical stuff. I understand. It's just that's why I'm like I'm not a fan of fantasy from the '80s. Like,
and that's
it
why
just feels like so dated.
And that's why the fantasy films from the 80s tended to fail.
Yes.
And why it didn't really take off into Lord of the Rings, because what's Lord of the Rings budget?
Not only did it have a great budget, but and it helped you. I mean, he just did it right. Like, I won't go to New Zealand and off and film it this way, and like you just feel immersed into it.
But from what I've been reading behind the scenes stuff, Ridley Scott was really passionate about it, and if he had the money to go to the places he wanted to go, he probably would have.
For sure. I can't hold it I won't hold them to that so much. I understand that. It's just like, again, watching the thing, I was like, I can't get into it. I try. It's like, if I was a kid, sure, maybe. But I'm a 30-year-old adult in 2020s. I can't. So I get why it has nostalgia to this shit. I get it. I totally understand people defending it. Like, nostalgically, this is a good movie. Like, yeah, I understand.
So I was the least sure about Willow, whether or not you would like it or not.
Yes.
This one for me was the least one for me, personally. Yes. This is the one that I have the least amount of nostalgia for. Like, I was watching Willow, I was just like, this is pure nostalgia. And, like, I was into it. But this one, I was, like, at times spacing out and stuff like that. Like,
most of the movie I was spacing out. Because, like you said, they get to a scene that should have been done in 30 seconds, and 3 minutes later, it's still the same scene. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are we still doing this?
Like I said, I wasn't sure how you would feel about Willow, but with this one, I knew you were either going to love it or you were going to hate it.
Oh, and I fucking hate it.
I knew it was going to be one or the other because it is very cookie cutter. But I don't want to sit here and say this is the worst movie ever made either.
I'm going to say that. Spoiler alert, I'm giving this either a 1 or a 2. That's what I'm giving this read at the end of the review.
There is no way this is a 1 or 2.
Because a main issue I have with this movie, these characters are likable. I don't give a fuck. Like, the main issue, like, okay, she's a princess. We don't see her ever being a princess. She's off in the woods fucking off doing shit, fucking with people and shit like that. And he's like, hey, don't touch the thing. Like, I'm gonna touch it. Bitch, don't touch the fucking thing. Oh, touch the unicorn. Granted, it's not her fault that it died, but like if it was like, don't do the thing, don't do this thing. But and then Jack, why'd you show her this shit? Because she's pretty and my dick's hard. Like, bro, you get this whole, you guys suck. Everyone sucks in this. They get the little dumb dwarf guys. Like, are we crazy? He's like, 2 hours of AIDS, TJ. This is gonna be fucking terrible. I hated everything about this movie.
Again, though, there's a reason why she did those things.
Why did she do those things? Because she had to do those things?
No. It's showing that she isn't pure of heart, that she isn't innocent, and that so when she's tempted later, that she would fall to temptation.
And I get that, but if I'm showing you, first off, Jack, don't show her these things. Don't show her these things. If we're like, okay, I'm telling you, those are two special beasts that should never be fucking touched. Do not touch those things. I'm gonna touch them. But bitch, what did I just say? Do not touch. He goes to touch it, and she's singing to it. It's just like, oh my god.
But again,
it's just like, God damn.
Again, he didn't tell her anything before he showed them anything. He only said,
did.
Nuh-uh. When he went there, he was like, "Let me show you this," and then he was like, "No." As she was going, she's like, "Why?" So he didn't tell her anything about them before.
Well, they're both at fault for that. Like, if you're saying no, don't do it. Like, don't be playful. I'm gonna do it. Like, come on, lady.
Again, she's a bit spoiled because she's a princess and she gets what she wants and stuff like that, so she's able to it. And whereas Jack is more, love-struck and naive in that way, and he trusted her, and that was a big point of the whole movie is his trust for her. Mm-hmm. There's reasons for why they did everything.
Yeah, I know. It just didn't work for me. It was all bad.
But my point is, just because it didn't work for you and stuff like that doesn't mean it wasn't there. Unlike some of the movies we've watched recently from you that just work terribly implemented and make no sense with plot holes here and there. There are no plot holes in this movie.
I don't know, TJ. I think there's. Want to get into the review? Sorry, I'm just rambling on hating this movie. You want to get into the review proper? Or is there any other behind the scene things you want to talk about?
Well, yeah, there was a few other things that
sorry about that.
So the movie was originally screened in Europe.
Yes.
And at the time, they said European audiences are more sophisticated. They accepted preambles and subtleties where the US goes for more broader strokes. So when they actually delayed the movie to make changes for the American release of it.
Yes.
So essentially, they cut more out of the movie for the stupid American audience, and not only that, they took out the original soundtrack that they put in for it and put in some 80s band.
Really?
Was Scott allowed? They took out Goldman's score and left it in the European, but they took it out and replaced the score by a techno-pop group. I think that's what it said.
Yes, Brian Ferry, Roxy. I'm looking at the soundtrack sections. I don't know.
Yeah, so they took out the Fantasy Goldman and put a band soundtrack in there instead.
Weird.
But yeah, so. Apparently, the North American theatrical release was terrible, and even Tom Cruise, hated it. So
yeah.
Other interesting things behind the scenes is that originally they were looking at Johnny Depp, Jim Carrey, or Robert Downey Jr. for the role of Jack.
I don't mind Tom Cruise as Jack, honestly.
No, actually, the acting, I don't want to say it was good or bad.
It was as directed.
That's what I was getting at. I think it was the direction. That was the problem.
That's what it was. No one was told to act good and they did bad. No, they did as told, it feels like.
Yeah, that's because...
Look whimsical, look dismayed, look whatever. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was.
Because Mia Sara, the actress, main actress in this, has a weird performance in this movie.
Yes, I thought so too, yeah.
but I don't think she's a bad actress.
No, because she was pretty good in this Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And
yeah, I don't think she's a bad actress at all. I just think she was told to act this way, so she acted that way.
And I agree. It felt like this is what the director wanted. I don't think... Did I make that statement? No, he's a good director to a point. I know he did Aliens, and the people in his movies act dumb because they're just badly written. Gladiator was well made, though. What else did Scott Tish know all this stuff? What else the movie? Blade Runner. Yeah, he's a good actor. He's a good director. So I don't know why. I mean, it's his early career, so who knows?
Yeah, I mean, this was a passion project, so maybe he felt that what?
Don't let directors do passion projects. That's all.
So it was like maybe he just felt like he needed to feel a different way.
Yeah,
and he didn't really take anyone else's opinion for that matter. It's like, this is how I want it to be, and this is how it is.
Yep, director. Sounds about right. When you get full control of something.
Yeah. Other than that, like, there was like a lot of stuff where they wanted to do things where they couldn't, so they did different ways.
Yeah, also, that's typical in movies.
Also, there was this is the first movie that had like 3 makeup teams like on each person.
God,
because it was so much makeup.
I think the only good makeup was Tim Curry. I think the other shit guys were terrible.
I don't think they were terrible. Maybe the designs were weird, but they were well made. I mean, this movie...
They just look like average little goblins and hobbits. Yeah,
well,
they are.
Nowadays they are, but back then...
It looked like bad holiday
because
costumes.
This movie got nominated and won a bunch of awards.
I was makeup and stuff like that. So blown away by that. I was like, the what?
You know what though?
No way.
Yeah, some of the makeup and stuff is really impressive.
I just think Tim Curry was the best. I think everyone else was
you know what I think the problem is with you, and I mean this seriously, I think you just really watched a bad quality version of it.
That could have been it. I don't ever want to watch this movie again to justify or validate what you're saying, but I do think you're right with that.
Because some of the makeup, I was really impressed by some of the makeup. Like, and I don't notice that shit. And I was like, wow, that looks really good.
I don't know, TJ. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think you're just biased against the movie, honestly.
But I went in trying to like it, TJ. I always do. I was like, I'm gonna like this one. 30 minutes into it, like, these characters, so this story. It's like, God damn this movie.
Also, another interesting that happened, one of their sets burned down.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it was like, the fire was huge too. They had to shut down filming for 3 days because of it.
Long time. It's a lot of money right there.
So apparently it burnt down during a lunch break, so no one got hurt, thankfully. But yeah, it was like they said the smoke was 100 feet in the air, and clouds of smoke could be seen 5 miles away.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it was a big shooting.
Probably that fake snow they had on set probably got caught on fire or some shit.
I don't know. Was it snow or was the snow glitter? Because there was a lot of glitter.
It was snow. Just bad fake snow. A lot of fake stuff in this movie.
Also, apparently they shot the underwater scenes in Florida because they wanted the water to be pure. But according to Ridley Scott, real alligators were swimming 25 feet away from
Nope. I guess at birth, Tom Cruise is like, I do my own stunts. This is fun. It's exhilarating.
Maybe. I don't know. But it's just how... Yeah, there was a lot of another thing behind the scenes. Apparently, Tim Curry got claustrophobic in his makeup.
Yeah.
At one point, because he had to spend an hour in a bath at the end of each day to get that spirit gum off of his skin.
Mm-hmm.
But he became so claustrophobic and impatient from it, he pulled the makeup off too quickly and tore some of his skin off in the process.
Sounds about right.
And he had so Ridley Scott had to shoot around him for a week as a result of it.
Yeah, well, sounds about right, honestly. That shit's really, it's not pleasant to have on.
Yeah, it doesn't look comfortable to wear. No. It looked fantastic. But
it's just not. And spirit gum's a bitch to get off.
So, all right. I think that's finally everything. So we open up with in a forest, essentially, with like animals. It's very whimsical. And the title screen comes up in like the first 3 seconds of the things, and I thought, oh, these are going to be fast credits. But no, they kind of drag.
Yeah.
And there's this goblin wandering through it named Blix. And it's a long, just like establishing scene, essentially, what this is.
Yeah.
And the goblin goes to this giant tree, which is weird now that I think about it. The tree has like a warehouse in it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, like, now you're going to be thinking about the movie we're talking about. Like, oh, yeah, you're kind of...
To be fair, I have a lot of questions in my notes. Like, why is this happening? What's his? Mm-hmm. It's just, you're so adamantly against it, you're pushing me into a defensive
I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was like, me being like really negative, which I hate this movie, it's going to make you like, it's not that bad. Trust me, I've been there. It's not that bad.
Because it's not that bad.
We get the Dark Lord monologuing to himself for a good few minutes before the guy even walks into the room. Why the f*** is he monologuing to himself, TJ? Oh, for us, the audience. Got it.
Sure. Or you could take it that he was talking to his invisible person that he's been talking to throughout the whole movie.
He's talking to the invisible person. Is it us he's talking to?
No, it's his father.
Oh, my God.
Because he's talking to nothing, and he keeps saying, father this, father that.
That's inner monologue. Whatever. Sure.
I'm just saying, they do have a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the gist of it is, they don't reveal the darkness here. We don't see him until the reveal much later in the movie. So the gist of it is, he's sending his goblin to go kill the unicorns and take their horns, because if he kills both the unicorns, because I guess there's only 2 unicorns, I don't know how that works, but maybe they're just immortal unicorns. I don't know. Whatever. They don't get into the lore.
No, they don't.
But I guess you can just extrapolate all of this from that it's all D&D lore, to be honest with you.
That's all. Yeah, that's what this pretty much is.
So,
I was like watching. It's like I've played this before. I've dealt with 2 unicorns before. This is nothing new to me.
So, because I guess unicorns are immortal or whatever, they have great magical powers, whatever. Anyway, but if the unicorns die, I guess that sends the world into eternal winter for some reason.
Yeah, it gets for the light, and darkness can only come out in the dark.
Right.
Get it, guys?
Because
it's really clever and deep.
Because light kills the darkness.
Get it? And light's good and dark's bad.
But it's true. Anyway.
That's the first 5 minutes right there. I got like another hour and 45 minutes of this shit.
I'm just curious what this movie is rated.
I was wondering that too. I never looked it up. So it feels like it's pre-PG-13. This movie's so ugly. This movie's not a pretty movie to look at. At least the version I saw, it's just not a pretty movie.
I disagree. I think everything is really well done.
I hate it. I hated it so much, just the visuals. Like it felt like a movie that's trying to be pretty. It just looked like I was just watching a play. And it's just, I don't like any of this.
This movie's PG.
It's PG. This movie's PG. Makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
There's not much. Not much.
Because now that I'm thinking about it,
yeah,
this is a children's story.
It is.
So if you look at it from that perspective, of course it's going to be a little,
on the nose and not subtle.
Yes,
and I get that. I get that. But kids aren't dumb.
How much experience do you have with kids? Just saying. I've met some pretty stupid kids.
So high, but I know a lot of smart kids. I feel like I don't know. I can't be a broad. I can't say like, oh, kids are smart. Kids are kids. Let's say that.
Yeah, and I think a kid. Well, not this version of the movie. This movie is way too long.
No, they would have gotten so bored so quickly.
The shorter version of this movie, I could see them getting into this movie.
Yeah.
An hour and a half of this movie, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
But not 2 hours. Not one of the parts that are dragging when I was literally falling asleep.
Oh my! I went on my phone so many times. Like, I get this scene. Let's get it over with.
But anyway, so in order to kill the unicorns, they need bait because they can't. I guess the unicorns are just mystically hidden or something. I don't know.
Who knows? They're in a section of the woods that no one gets to. Besides Jack, apparently. He knows where they're at.
Yeah. So only innocents can come in. And I'm not sure what the goblins... Did they follow the princess or did they follow Jack?
They were there already, weren't they?
I don't know, honestly. They do just show up when the unicorns show up, but I'm not sure if they follow. The movie does have trouble explaining certain things.
Mm-hmm. I can't defend this movie at all. I'll try to be nice to it sometimes, but I just got nothing.
But we get introduced to the Princess Lily, and at first I didn't realize she was. At first I wrote, the innocent princess song singing girl. This is very princessy. I didn't realize she was. I forgot she was a princess.
You don't know she's a princess until they tell you, like, oh, you're a princess. Because they don't show you ever her being a princess anywhere. You never see her come from the castle and running off from guards or anything. Like, hey, you're the princess. You guys start acting more like a princess. It's like, okay, movie, tell me what she is then. Sure, don't show me.
But as they're telling you she's a princess, they are showing you that she's very unprincess-like. Like playing tricks on the people. She breaks in and enters people.
First off, she takes down their fucking clothespin. Like, ha ha, I made your clothes dirty again. And the person blames elves or something like that because they didn't see her do it.
Fairies.
And then she does break into their house. Like the.
And then she starts eating their food.
Right.
And then and then the woman comes in. Oh, princess, thanks for showing up and stuff like that. I was like, that was a little weird.
And so am I supposed to care about this princess? Because right now I don't like anything about her so far.
You're supposed to just get like she.
Oh, she sucks. Yeah, she's the 1%er who just I don't want to care to talk to. She's a trust fund baby. Got it. She sucks.
Okay. Not all trust fund babies are terrible.
I met a few. They're pretty shit.
Some of them are good people.
I could give you that, yeah.
So you can't judge people just based on their wealth. You got to judge them on their actions.
Yeah, I'm judging her on her actions and where she came from. Nothing in this movie makes you like her. From this point until she touches the unicorn, until the lesson she learns at the end.
You're supposed to get that she's spoiled and doesn't have any common sense and stuff like that. She just gets what she wants. And she doesn't know anything. You're supposed to get that, this is naivety.
She's naive, but yeah, whatever that tense of that word, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the naivety of goodness and how it brings upon evil. That's what you're supposed to get out of this.
I didn't get it. I guess she sucks. I don't like her.
I didn't have any emotion towards her whatsoever, honestly. I was neutral on her.
Just seeing her touch that she shouldn't be touching, I was like, stop it. If she was a kid, fine, but she's how old in this probably? 20s?
No.
You should know better. Fine, late teens maybe?
16.
She's 16?
Yeah.
There's no way. She looks like she's early 20s. I mean, the actress, fine. Maybe the character, okay, the character is 16.
Yeah, this is definitely a dark fantasy movie from the 80s. She's definitely 16 years old. And so is Jack.
Yeah. If they would have gotten kids, I guess, to play this, they had a kid in the movie, so why couldn't they get 16-year-olds to play this?
Because they needed that kid to play the elf.
He's what, 10?
I don't know. In this movie, he's 100.
Yeah. Which I liked that character. I liked how that kid portrayed that. He was a good actor.
Yeah, and like I said,
that shocks me. Wow, they actually got a good kid actor in this.
I don't think the actors are bad in this movie. I just think they were directed poorly.
Yes, and I think the character was poorly written for this one. That's all.
I don't think she was poorly written. I don't think she was written practically at all.
It's just poorly written, yeah.
Well, no, poorly written means there is a character arc and stuff like that.
Or you just put down little notes. She's a princess that does things. That's poorly written. It's lazy. It's bad. If you give me some more depth, it's better written. If it's a good depth, great character.
I think there's a difference between poorly written and not written for at all.
I would almost say it's the same if you put it on screen.
I don't think there is, because I think an actor who doesn't have a character who's allowed to do what they are can go either way with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If this is the general gist of it, just act this way, and I think it could work. Whereas if someone's just written in depth but poorly, it's always going to be a shit show.
Yeah, always. But I still think if you still write it badly, if you don't give it enough to be something, it's still poorly written, because now it's going to be poorly directed and poorly acted because it was poorly written, so they have nothing to go off of. Whereas you gave me something to go off of, which is shit, I'm still going off it. There's two different versions of poorly written, that's all.
Semantics.
Yeah, it's definitely a semantics argument for sure.
Anyway, it's just establishing that
she sucks. No, I'm kidding.
That, her people do like her and love her and stuff like that, but even though she's just mischievous, I guess is the word for her.
See, they get Princess Leia a better arc. Come
you can't compare this movie to Star Wars. That's unfair.
I know it's unfair, but I'm sure that's the only other princess I can think of. Any Disney movie, the princesses are usually damsels. I'm trying to think of another princess.
I think she's on par with a Disney princess.
Yeah. Are there any? That's a cliche thing. I'm not gonna get into that. I'm trying to think. Are there strong women? I guess besides Ripley from Aliens, but she's such a good, well-written character.
There's a few strong princess characters. It's
this time?
Not at this time.
Yeah.
In books, maybe.
Okay, but not on.
Not on screen. No.
Yeah, not in media. Yeah,
definitely not. Like no. This was before women were allowed to be strong.
Lame.
It's true.
No, you're not wrong. No, not wrong. That's just so dumb. But yeah.
Anyway.
I thought Willow's wife was pretty.
Yeah, but she was only in it for 3 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. It's just the only lady in the whole movie.
Nah.
The witch, the mom. Yeah.
No.
And his daughter.
No, and the daughter. There's a couple female characters in that movie.
I was just thinking about the Willow's village in general. We didn't see many.
They were there. They were just background.
Yeah, they didn't have lines.
Just all those characters. Anyway. Completely lost my place.
We're only at her being introduced, and she goes off to run to Jack.
Yeah. So she's there, but she's on her way to the forest to meet her love interests, Jack of the Green. Which, to be fair to this movie, I do remember all their names, which is rare for me.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, you would call her Princess, and you would call him
I
Boy or something.
I didn't say Tom Cruise once.
No.
So at least they were the characters they were portrayed on screen. So she gets introduced to Jack of the Green, who is a forest guy, kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
nymph?
I don't think so. I think he's human.
Kind of druidish, I guess. Druid.
Because they do call him mortal a lot.
Yeah.
So, and he could talk to animals, apparently, and he's teaching the princess how to talk to animals, so forth and so forth. And she's like, teach me how to speak rabbit. And he's like, no, I'm going to show you something that you want to see. And so they go see the unicorns. And this is the scene that Marcus has been complaining about for like...
Just don't touch the damn thing.
The unicorns show up and, you know, they're not really unicorns. They're just white horses with horns.
Which is unicorn, right? Like, that's what you expect to be a unicorn.
Horns glued to their heads.
No, they just staple onto their heads, probably. The 80s. I'm kidding, that's terrible.
But as they're looking at the unicorns, the goblins are also there somehow. I don't know how they found this secret place or who they were following. I mean, I guess, if I had to guess, they did say, follow the darkness, did say to the goblins, use bait, follow the innocents. And then they cut to the princess.
But, like...
So maybe the goblins were following the princess.
But, like, show me that.
Yeah, no, I agree. But if I had to extrapolate how they got there...
We're watching a long version of this fucking movie with long scenes. Give me the things you should be showing me, and don't just give me a 10-minute bit of Tom Cruise trying to swim. Show me her being a princess. Show me the goblins finding her, and, like, we're going to follow her because she knows Jack. Like, just give me that. Show me the thing. Sorry.
So the unicorns are there, and so she starts to approach the unicorns because, you know, they're unicorns. But Jack's like, no, don't. And she's like, why? And because it's forbidden. Says who?
And I hate how they talk in this. They talk very low and whispery, and just like, it's very whimsical of us to talk this way.
Yeah,
isn't it magical and beautiful out here?
You hated Jack in this moment, but I was like, why shouldn't you touch the unicorns?
Why would you? It's a wild damn horse. Even if it wasn't a unicorn, that wild animal's pretty. I'm going to touch it. Well, don't do that.
She didn't go up and touch it. She stayed back and let the animal come to her, like you do with an animal like that.
Let's try to sing it and lure it to her. No, don't.
And if the animal comes to her, which it did,
what mentality is that? No person.
Have you never tried to pet an animal before? When you were a kid?
That's a wild animal? No.
Like a cat if on the street or something like that.
Cat. I'm not trying to get scratched. I know they go. I'm not gonna go up to you.
I was like, this is typical right here. This scene here, where if there's a wild animal, she's not like she went up to it and say, "Hey, I'm gonna pet it." She stayed back and she was calm, and the animal came to her. That's how you approach an animal like that.
Yeah, if you see the handler next to it, sure.
If the unicorn did not want to be petted, it came over.
That's why most people get eaten by fucking random animals. A hiker got attacked by a goddamn horse. I wonder why. You
just have no outdoors.
I love being outdoors. I love animals in nature. I'm not going to go up to it if I don't want to. You're a wild animal doing your own thing. I want to be f***ed with if I'm out doing my own thing.
Look, I'm not even disagreeing with you. I find animals annoying and don't want anything to do with them. But I understand if you're interested in like a horse and stuff like that, and if it's there, and if you want to pet it, as long as you don't go scaring it and stuff, and it comes over to you,
nope.
Why not?
That those things are huge, and anything can trigger these things to go.
Just because you're scared of it, I
am not afraid of these animals.
Apparently you are.
No, I'm not. Like it's a. You've seen their beasts. They're big. They're heavy.
I'm just saying.
If something goes like that on it, it's going to come at me. I'm just saying
she is not wary of it, and nothing happens to her from the unicorn at all, except her getting a little spooked by it at one point.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why this goes wrong is because of the goblins.
Mm-hmm. But she lures them out. Like I think it's like a mixture of all of it together.
Lures them out. They're in the middle of the open.
Because you were just saying she walks up to it in the middle of the open. Well, I'm watching this right now. They're like at the creek area. They're trying to go off. And they see her like, okay, she's singing. Let's go to this bitch. They go up to her. Sorry, this lady. They go up to her, freak out a little bit, and she's singing some more to it, and it calms down. And then a goblin does a goblin bullshit and hits it with a dart or something. It
calmed down. It's not like she was spooking it.
I don't know, man. But she drawled it out like.
She didn't draw that. It's out in the open.
But it was about to leave with its wife.
And if it didn't want to leave, if it did want to leave, it would have left.
I don't know.
But
She tricked it. She tricked it.
She did not trick it.
I'm gonna sing
She
to
did
you.
not
You're
trick-
good. You're safe.
Yeah, but she didn't know the goblins were there. There was no maliciousness on her part.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't a Melissa. I know there wasn't.
Like, she clearly doesn't know that this is a bad thing because she was not told. And
I know.
That's on Jack. That's not on her.
But with the character I've seen so far, even if you would elaborate it, don't touch him, go near him, just look at him, she still would have done the thing.
Maybe. But
Because we saw her beanie, we saw her knock over some lady's garments that she was drying. She's a bad person so far. She sucks.
But that's only because we extrapolated that onto her character. And
because that's what they showed us. That's what they showed us about her.
In reality, she was just being mischievous when she knocked that off. And
that's not mischievous. That's just shitty.
No, it's mischievous in this time in that time period, day and age.
You just washed your things that takes hours to probably dry.
This is the same time period. This is the time period that Dennis the Menace was a cartoon and a popular thing. So
you're saying as in 80s, not whatever period movies taking place. Okay.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
So mischievousness, that was a mischievous thing, and she's clearly been there hundreds of times, or at least dozens of times, because that woman knew exactly who she was when she walked in there, so she's probably allowed to walk in and out as she pleased.
Mm-hmm. I mean, food.
Just because
I'm gonna eat your food and come in here and do shit like that.
We didn't have the context for
it. That's why the movie's bad. Like, hey, I'm gonna go fuck off to Aunt whatever's house. See you guys. I hate being in the castle.
The movie
Show me that.
The movie does explain it.
Yeah, you tell me things I shouldn't be told. Like, oh, you're the princess. Hi, princess. No, show me that. Whatever. Yeah. So she gets a horse killed.
She does not get the horse killed. If anything, the horse has bad survival instincts and should have known the goblin was there.
Victim blaming. How dare you?
It's just a stupid horse.
Oh, shit.
Stupid unicorn. It's supposed to be the greatest magical being in the universe. Why didn't it sense the evil nearby?
Exactly. Like, these things are so magical and mystical.
Yeah.
It should know that. It should be talking too. I'm just putting my own things onto it now, but like, yeah.
I'm just saying. There are many people to blame for this incident. The princess is not one of them.
She is. I think everyone in this situation is just shit.
Jack should have protested harder. Like,
he definitely should have.
You've been like, you can't do this. This is against all the rules. You're gonna end the world or something like that.
Yeah, he did it. He's like, don't do it. Don't do it. He got quieter and quieter as she did it. Like, don't. Like, no, say something.
Which makes even more my argument here is that the horses get shot by this poison dart and then they run away.
Yeah.
And we don't know about what's going to happen next. But then that leaves the princess and Jack alone together, and he's mad at her for like 3 seconds, and she's like, oh, so what if I did this and this? And then everything, he's fine.
Ugh.
So it wasn't that big of a deal.
Apparently, oh god, they suck. These characters are badly written. They're terrible. And then she takes her ring and throws it off. Now she's littering. Like, lady, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you throwing your ring in?
They explain what the ring is.
Why? What is it?
She says, because she kisses him, and he's like, like essentially, if someone's to marry me and be my suitor and stuff, I have a right to challenge them. So she takes up the ring and says, if whoever finds this ring will be my husband. And so she tosses the ring, which causes him to go after it.
Yeah, then she starts like, Jack, come back, Jack. What kind of weird bullshit is that? It's just so.
She threw it. But I don't think she meant to throw it off a cliff.
Oh my god. Stupid lady.
I think
stupid movie.
She's a 16-year-old idiotic kid that threw her ring too far. And
why are you throwing in the first place?
It was
be cuteful and playful. Hide it in your fist. Put behind your back. What hand is it in, Jack? If you love me, you should know what hand is in, Jack. Now let me just toss it like an idiot.
I think she just meant to throw it right next to him, but it bounced off a goddamn rock and fell into the water.
Stupid.
Like, these things that you're complaining about are not that bad. It's like there are worse things in this movie. Like
beanies, knocks people things over, eats their food, leaves while being a princess, gets an animal killed. Then goes littering by throwing her damn ring into the lake. None of
that happens. You're just saying those things happen. And
she's not likable. No one's likable in this. And Jack's being like, don't do that thing after I showed you to do it. Don't do it. I'm going to jump into this water. Now she's screaming for some reason. And that scene lasts for too long. It's like, screaming, swimming, screaming, swimming, screaming, swimming, screaming, swimming. Like, oh my god.
Well, like I said, like all the motivations you said are just wrong. You're wrong on that. But like this next part where they're cutting back and forth, where everything's going wild for some reason, I don't understand the editing in this. And it's
this makes sense. This makes sense because the horse is dying, and it affects. This I get. The horse affects light in nature, and it's been wounded and it's dying. So nature's just going in a frenzy. It's cut the natural beast, and it's juxtaposing between her and Jack. She's like, Jack, come back. He's like, I'm going to get this thing. He's underwater. And now we see the goblin going, it's Goblin, right?
Yes.
He's going to kill the horse, the unicorn, the male horse. And so as he's going into killing it, and it dies, and winter happens, and the lake freezes over.
Well, he doesn't kill it so much as he cuts off
takes
the horn.
Yeah. Whatever he takes the magical thing from it. Which makes,
It's horn. It's the unicorn's horn.
I know. But then Nathan... Everything turns to snow and the lake freezes over. Jack didn't know it was going to freeze over because why the f would it? So I get all this going on. I get this. This is fine for me. It's just the mystical, magical part to it. I accept this.
Okay.
This is what I accepted. Like, okay, cool.
This is my problem with you. You get upset over the stupid, naive things, but the nonsensical...
If you don't give me some characters to care about, give me characters to care about. Don't tell me you're this, you're that, and then like them not doing the things they are. And I don't know. It's just do better. Just do better. But I like the artistic showing the horse getting thing losing her. That was fine. I was cool with that.
Yeah, and then the whole world freezes over and like instantaneously.
Yeah, the people that she being needs, they all froze to death. Like they're just frozen.
I don't think they're dead. But
I don't think so either, but they don't really tell you. You won't ever see them again.
No. But yeah, so everyone's frozen now. Which doesn't make sense. Why isn't she frozen?
Right! Because the movie's got a movie, TJ.
Why are the fairies frozen? Why isn't everything frozen? Like I said, there are problems with this movie, but the things you're harping on aren't important.
Oh, they're important to me. If you're giving me a character to like in the first 30 minutes and everything about her is not likable...
Because there's reasons for the way they are.
Yeah, but they're like, give me a good character arc for her. There really isn't, I feel. Just, I put on this dress, so now I don't want to kill the unicorn. Of course you don't want to kill, you never want to kill the unicorn. It's not your MO, but you're still not a good person to me.
The idea was that she was tempted and she decided to not go through with it. Like, I'm not going to argue that maybe she should have turned evil and maybe the redemption is her not killing the unicorn.
Something.
Like, then the movie would be a half hour longer.
Okay, but if it makes it better, cool. I don't want to sit for that. You're right. I don't want to sit for that. Just like show the temptation better, I guess. I don't know. There's something better directing wise.
Anyway, they're all frozen, and then the goblins that killed the unicorn show up. Just happened at the house that she's hiding in, which is her aunt's house or whatever it is. But I don't know if that's just how it is, or if this is just the only house in the area.
Yeah, so I had a note on my questions.
Okay,
so yeah, she's at the house, and she's hiding because you see the goblins coming, correct? And they're coming here f***ing with a magic stick they have, the unicorn.
Yeah, I guess the unicorn is a wand now?
Yeah, which is cool D&D shit. Cool, whatever. I expect that. Why the f*** they come here? Why are they saying all the shit we're hearing just to tell the audience and to let her know what's going on? Because they come here to do the thing, they leave. They don't take anything. They're just like, hey, magic, let's get out of here. Because he's waiting for us.
They sensed the humans nearby, and now that everything's frozen, they can take it. The one goblin was going to eat the baby, but it was frozen, so they didn't.
Yeah, baby. What say, like milk-flavored baby or something like that? Like, that's gruesome.
Yeah, meat filled with milk.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like that line. Oh, the one goblin's always rhyming everything it says. Well, like, why didn't they eat the people then?
Because they were frozen.
Cook them up. You got a magic wand. It's always setting things on fire. Cook them up. Why did we come here? Just to tell the audience and the lady in here that what's going on. Got it.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe
it was just exposition for her to hear, so it gave a reason why she heard it. Like, oh, she wasn't nowhere.
You asked me why they were there. That's the reason they gave it.
That's because
they sense the humans and goblins eat humans, so they wanted to eat it, but they couldn't because they were frozen and they're in a time crunch. They know the darkness is waiting for them, so they had to hurry up.
They could just go in, see they're frozen and leave. Because they had to say all the exposition for her to hear.
But they're goblins. That's what they do.
It's bad writing.
They like to destroy things.
Terrible.
Anyway.
I hate this movie, TJ.
I know.
I was so done with it at this point. I'm like, f*** this.
Unfairly so, I think.
Oh, he says, and Jack says a creepy line. She says something about being sweet or something. He says, I know someone sweeter. It's like, ugh, gross, weird. Was him trying to flirt? I don't remember. It's on my notes. I think it must be after. She's just wondering because she doesn't want to be a princess enough. So he must have said when they first met on the screen.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't really pay attention a lot to their flirt and dialogue. I'm just like, I get it.
I was really mean to this movie in my notes. Holy crap.
I know.
Holy crap. Was I grumpy or something?
You must have been, because this is like beyond compare. Like, there is, you weren't even mean to the worst of the movies that we've watched, and you've done this. This is the second time now that you've done this.
What's all the time?
That Batman Superman movie, that wasn't that bad either.
That was bad. This is on par. This is really. I feel this is insulting. Like, maybe because again, this is for children. So like, if I was a child, this is great. Well, I'm 30, man. This is bad. Feels really insulting to watch. And the fact that I sit here for an hour and 53 minutes to watch this damn movie.
I didn't get any of that at all.
Man.
Again, you are wrong.
I hope we have viewers who will listen and watch this. I don't want them to support me. They don't have to support me. It's just I want valid reasons why I should like this movie, or like why I'm wrong, besides nostalgic reasons.
Well, I don't think you're wrong that it's a bad movie. I think you're wrong on how bad it is.
I don't see any appeal for this movie at all. I just don't get it. I genuinely do not see. I cannot give this higher than a 2. And for me, it's for me. Like,
this is way worse than Cooties. Or reverse what I was saying.
It's way better than Cooties.
Yes.
At least Cooties was original.
No, it was not.
Conceptually.
It was not. Conceptually not. Just because you change the virus to kids doesn't mean it's conceptually original.
I can't say, I think it was. Because, like, menopause is puberty is saving people from not being turned to zombies. Okay, it's a take on zombieism. Sure, I accept that. This is just like, whatever. I've seen this. I've played this. This is just,
So, we cut back to Jack, who's, I guess, frozen in the snow at this point.
I thought he was sleeping.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know. He was just, first he was in a pond, and now he's unconscious in the snow. I don't know how he doesn't have hypothermia at this point, but...
Because he's the one?
No, this isn't a Chosen One story.
It's not, no, kinda. There's
not really. It was like, we need a champion. Well, I guess you'll do.
Yeah.
You're all we have.
Yeah, you're only humanoid. Although, why not the elf? Why it's gonna be him?
Because his magic doesn't work against the darkness, and he's just magic, And the armor won't fit that small child.
Fair. I guess that's fair. Jack had a hard time lifting the sword, so that's fair, I guess.
Anyway, speaking of this, Jack gets waken up by a fairy.
Tinkerbell.
Kind of.
It's literally Tinkerbell.
They're more of a rapey Tinkerbell.
Maybe Tinkerbell was rapey too, because they couldn't understand what she was saying.
Maybe, I guess. Anyway, we get introduced to Gump here. He's some kind of god, I think?
That's what, like, he seemed like that, right? He's all-knowing.
I know he's an elf. He's definitely an elf. They say that.
Yeah.
But this is a weird scene.
It is. It really is.
He's like it's pretty much Jack explaining to him what happened, and he's like, all right, fine, I forgive you if you answer a riddle.
Well, Jack lied to him at first, because Gump didn't know what happened, but like he was suspicious of Jack. And Jack is like, yeah, I showed her the unicorns. And he was like, what the bitch? Why'd you do that? I'm gonna kill you. You should be dying. Like, I'm gonna play your death tune. You're gonna die.
Well,
Jack's no.
He says, depending on your answer, you're gonna die if you don't answer correctly. So he gives him a riddle, which I don't know what the answer to the riddle was, because...
Bluebell.
Yeah, I don't think that was the answer.
It was. Because Jack explains, okay, the riddle was, what bell doesn't make a noise, and something about angel's grace or some shit like that. And the answer is bluebell because it doesn't make a noise, because it's a flower. He said flower, bluebell. And because they don't make noise, and when they bloom or die, it's a signature of your death.
I get that, but then Jack says a riddle without an answer is like an empty cup.
Yes.
So I just took it that there wasn't an actual correct answer, and no matter what he said, the answer was going to be correct.
I picked up as he knew it had to have an answer, it just had to be something not what you expect, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, but like, so that didn't mean that like the bluebell was the right answer. It sounded like it had multiple answers.
Or like every riddle has an answer. That's like he couldn't think of it, but like you knew it had to be something along. I don't know. Whatever. So they celebrate. It was a way to show that there's a pop of fucking wine on his head or some shit. That's what it was, TJ. That's his quirk. His quirk is I have wine on my head, guys.
No, his quirk is that he's a drunkard. So Jack answered the riddle correctly, and then they drink wine together. But now they gotta go find out what happened to the unicorns. Guess what? The unicorn's dead. It's mystery solved.
Oh no!
What happens next?
Hold on, this seems very long. I'll skip through all of it. Hold on.
Say So they find out the one unicorn's dead, but the other one's still alive. But they need to protect the unicorn and go get the unicorn horn back.
Yes.
For some reason, I guess that's gonna do something. I don't know. But I guess if they just glue the horn back on, it comes back to life.
That's so good, TJ. Oh, shit.
I don't know. That's the answer that I got. But they need a champion in order. I guess the unicorn can communicate with the elves, and the unicorn was telling them this.
No, Jack was talking. Unicorn was talking to Jack, and Jack told him all the.
Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Okay, because Jack can talk to animals. They did establish that, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. See, they established everything, TJ.
They do. I said they did.
I know. I'm making fun of you. Damn it! We're not paying attention to the damn movie.
Well, it was kind of hard at points.
It was.
Like, this scene goes on far too long.
It all goes on far too long.
So they're like, we need a champion, and they're like, Jack, guess what? You're a champion because we can't fit in the armor.
Yes, and we're all go with you, but leave one guy behind. We're gonna leave the drunk one behind because
he's skilled.
What's the skill?
He can deflect arrows with a pot.
Yeah, it hit him right in the head.
Well, he deflected like 40 of them before that.
And the unicorn still got kidnapped.
You're spoiling the future.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna rant on that too. So. I'll wait.
Anyway, as they're doing that, we get, a scene of Blix, the goblin, who is just getting more power hungry with his wand. And he's like, we don't need the darkness, blah, blah, blah. We cut back and forth. Then we go back to Jack, who's led to a treasury, essentially, inside of a tree. And for some reason, Gump is like, I can't go any further with you into this treasury to get this armor and sword and shield. I thought it was like a dragon's lair or something.
So did I. But now it makes sense to me.
Oh, okay.
Because it must be one or two things. Either it must be like Jack's mission to do his own thing or whatever, to pick his thing. Or B, later on, Gump, his name's Gump, He's tried touching a bar, and he said iron, it makes my magic useless. So maybe there's a lot of iron down there he doesn't want to get f***ed with.
Maybe.
So that's what it could be.
I don't know. I just thought because he just goes in and grabs it and leaves. Yeah. And it's like, there should have been some kind of challenge to it. I just feel like.
Yes, because the fairy goes in with him, Tinkerbell, and she tells him some stuff. I wasn't paying attention, I know. But she says some shit, he picks the thing.
Oh, she reveals her true form.
Yeah.
And she's like, don't tell Gump about this for reasons. I don't know. Anyway, so he gets his sword and armor and stuff. And then we cut over to the goblins again. And the darkness shows up. And it's like, what are you doing? And that scares them. And then one of the goblins picks up the wand and says, we don't need you. And so the darkness wakes up a corpse mummy thing, grabs the goblin, and jumps down a hole and I guess kills the goblin.
Why's that mummy there?
Because it was just a dead corpse.
Like, what? Are they graveyard or what the f*** are they? Like,
I don't know. So, here's my question.
Why's it mummified? What's up?
This is the last time we see Blix.
The main one, right?
Yeah.
Is it? Do we want to see what the end? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know what happens to him, because he never shows back up in the movie.
Yeah, because I was thinking earlier, like, what happens to him in the story? And I think you're probably right. This is where we end off with him. We see the other one again eventually, but not him.
Yeah, he just disappears.
Weird.
Oh, you know what?
What?
We do see him again.
Do we?
Yeah, and I know where.
Okay.
I just realized what that scene was. Okay. So we cut back to the lone.
Oh wait, hold on. This is where they say the darkness is questioning them. Did you kill them both? And they say, yeah, we killed them both. But the light shows up, and he's like, well, actually, we only killed one. Other ones, whatever. And he sends them to get the other one.
You're right.
Yeah, just we get that out there.
Oh, and Lily
and he takes the unicorn home. Yeah.
And Lily had been following him since the house, and so she oversees this. So she somehow knows where the unicorn is.
Yeah.
And warns the guy that's protecting him, hey, they're coming. But hey, look, the goblins are right there.
See, she's here for the audience and help the story get connected.
Yes.
She's badly written.
So the goblins attack, and this is where he deflects like 30 arrows with a frying pan, and then it gets shot in the head.
Yes.
And dies.
Yes. And so they kidnap the thing, right?
His name's Brown Tom. Yes. They throw a net over the unicorn and the princess.
Yes.
And I think I know what your problem is with this.
Is it the same problem you have too?
Why didn't they just kill the unicorn?
Thank you. Why are we doing a ritual for this one? Why do we have to keep the movie should end right here? Darkness wins, guys.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Why did he kill the unicorn here?
Thank you. They killed the first one. Yeah. It's not consistent, the story. Like,
But maybe the Darkness wanted to kill him himself.
well, he didn't say that. He said nothing. He said, go get the other one. Go finish the job. Okay, boss, you killed the first one. Why don't you kill it now? Like,
Whatever, they captured a unicorn and a princess.
they could have had, okay, the unicorn's a magical thing. It could have had to put a shield up and, like, we can't kill it here. Just take it with us. There we go. Fix your story for you. No, let's just bring it with us. And, oh, man, this movie, TJ. This movie.
So they get back to Brown Tom, who is the guy with the frying pan, and he's still alive. And he knows that the goblins captured him, so now they gotta follow him to the Great Tree, essentially. And on the way to the Great Tree, they gotta go through the swamp, and this hag jumps out of the water. And this is an impressive costume, this hag, for something not in it, because it looked like something straight out of a D&D book.
Oh, she's great. She's awesome. I think it was animatronic. I think it was all. It's so when she first appeared out the water, I was like, "Oh, that's scary. That is creepy. Don't touch me, you weird bitch. That's scary."
It looked like a water hag right out of a D&D book, man. It was good.
It was really good. I think it was like mostly it had to be animatronic and they were just puppeteered. Or maybe it was someone in a costume, but I think it was animatronic.
I don't know, but it was really impressive. I was like, wow, that looks right out of the books, man.
Yes, I did enjoy that a lot.
And the hag's gonna eat Jack here, but Jack's, he can't really lift his sword. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, even a shield.
He's using the shield to show her reflection. He's sweet-talking the hag and stuff, and she's like, she's falling for his flattery and stuff, looking at her reflection, and then eventually he just decapitates her.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, that's the end of her.
Yeah, I hate it. Again, I hate it. The witty shit, like, okay, you're being witty, you're just stealing or whatever. Typical fantasy shit. I don't like any of that, but it was executed pretty good.
So now it shows that the princess and the unicorn are like chained to the floor for some reason.
Kill the unicorn here. Why are we prolonging it? You're in darkness killer. Why are we doing that longer? Why are you trying to make the lady kill it? Like, just kill the unicorn.
Because now he's in love.
Nope, just kill it. Just kill it. Just kill it. Throw it in a fire pit and kill it. You want, like, this is stupid. This is dumb.
Anyway, our protagonists go to the tree and fall down a hole and end up in the cells. So they come across one of the goblins, and he reveals that he was actually a fairy in disguise. I guess he was a bad guy. He turned a bad guy or something like that.
I thought it was undercover the whole time or some shit.
I don't know what the deal was. Anyway, so he's in the next jail cell ever because they fell into a jail cell. And this like big burly guy in a pig fit mask comes over, and he takes that goblin, and he's gonna, because they're like, they all try to hide from him, but they find him and they said you're gonna get barbecued. So they take him and they're gonna cook him. On the table, they show that.
Oh, is that what you think it is?
They show another one of the guys chopping up something, and now that I think about it, it looks exactly like Blix. They killed Blix and they're eating Blix.
That's badass.
Yeah, because now that I think about it, because it looks exactly like a. Let me just go to the scene.
Yeah, I can see that because you don't see him, but he's in the background getting chopped up and moving around, and shit like that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly who it is because
it's literally at the hour and 2 minute mark.
Yeah, it looks like it's the goblin.
Yeah, that would make sense. Wish they would have told us that, but that makes sense, or showed us that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's the only thing that makes sense because she just disappeared from there.
Yeah,
and the one he was with is in a jail cell.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, they're the rest of them are trapped, and they're like, "How are we gonna get out of here?" And Jack's like, "Use your magic to get out of here." And so Gum tries it, but this is where the iron comes in. And he can't do it. His magic is useless here. So they're like, Jack's like, have the fairy go out. And he's like, she's too small. And then she reveals that she's not too small. He's like, you're a liar. And then she's like, I'll go save the day if you kiss me, Jack. And he's kind of kisses her on the cheek. And he's like, no, a real kiss. And then she morphs into Lily the princess. And he's like, this is not what I want. Your lies. And thus she runs away, say, mad at Jack. And then she gets the key and releases them.
Pointless. What's the point of that?
Show that the fairy is horny, apparently.
Why do we need any of that? Hey, fairy, go turn big and get a thing. Got it. So I actually like you people. Now I'm going to try to get a kiss out of this dude.
So now the darkness is in love with Lily for some reason.
Kill the unicorn! And then take her as your wife. Kill the damn unicorn, man.
He's distracted by love.
Kill the unicorn.
He's distracted by love.
It's so bad.
And he's talking to his father, and he's like, she's distracted me. I'm just gonna go take her. And she's like, no, you can't just take her. You have to woo her first. And he's like, fine. And this is where, the princess, she's a girl and stuff, so jewelry is how she's gonna be tempted and stuff.
Yeah.
by shiny things, of course. Of course.
God, so both the women characters are just horny, dumb ladies.
And then she's as she's looking at like the things that all the shiny things that she could have, there's this like woman in this dress and dancing, and it's like faceless and stuff. And I don't know why, but this scene creeped me out.
Did it really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like the dancing faceless dress thing really creeped me out, and I don't know what was going on there. I was like, this is bothering me for some reason. It just weirded me out the whole scene.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then when she starts dancing with it, I'm like, this is super weird. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Then she becomes the thing.
And then she comes to think, I was like, oh, I get it. But still, it was like, if that thing tried to come up and dance with me, I would try to chop its head off or something.
Well, she was like under some kind of like, not a spell, but like under a thing.
Yeah, she was like tempted. It's, she's like being tempted by evil. And then she succumbs to evil. Supposedly.
Oh, man. Oh, this movie.
And so now she's corrupted, I guess, and then we get the reveal of the darkness.
Yes, which is pretty cool. He comes through a mirror.
Yeah. It comes through the mirror, and, like, even if you don't watch this movie, I think people know what this guy looks like.
Yes. You just Google the word, you just Google Legend 1985, 86. You'll get this. You'll get him.
You'll get this scene, because this is what people think of when they think of Legend. This darkness character, and
which essentially what the devil will look like, as from what people usually make him look like, I guess, right?
Yeah, the stereotypical bull-horned devil. It's really impressive looking, honestly.
Oh, it is. It's beautiful. And there's some images in this throughout this movie, not just him, but like there's like shots in this movie like it felt kind of lifted off a book. Like how they framed it and everything. Like when he's like kneeling over her after coming out the mirror, like, oh, that's really cool looking.
Yeah. And so from here, it's just a bunch of.
Yep.
It's a lot. It's drags from here on out.
Yeah, like the last hour is like could have been 20 minutes.
It's like, all right, so essentially, he is trying to woo her, essentially, trying to get her on his side, and trying to get her to sit down on this chair for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would have done. Maybe that would have finished the corruption.
But again, they don't tell you. They don't show you.
Yeah,
like, it's just do this thing. Mm-hmm.
But they're just talking, and eventually it gets to the point where she keeps saying, I'm not into this. Go away, essentially. Until eventually it gets to the point where she's like, fine, I'll join you, but I want to kill the unicorn. And he laughs. Ha 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 ha. And so they're going to go kill the unicorn. But all of that is interspersed, essentially, with the other guys. So the other guys escape from the prison. They fight off the giant guards and stuff. I don't know how. I kind of tuned out.
So did I. This whole scene, like, wait, they just. I thought they killed the big bad guy, but I was like, no, there's still 20 minutes left in this fucking movie. Who'd they just kill? I don't care.
I don't know how they killed him. There was like a flash.
Yeah. I was like, TJ probably watched it. I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah, I kind of missed it, and I was like, it was already an hour, like 40 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going back to find out.
Damn it, that's perfect. I was curious what happens. I'm not gonna look it up. I don't give a shit, but
so like, okay, so they defeated them. They get the other fairy that was a goblin out of a pie because they were gonna eat him. So now they have a new companion, and Jack comes up with a plan to use a bunch of shields. I don't know what they are, but they actually essentially work like mirrors. Plates. They act like mirrors, so they can deflect the sunlight from outside down into the tree, which inside the tree is like a factory or something. I don't know how they fit all this down here, but whatever. Deflect it all the way they set them up all the way to the point where they get to the darkness.
How the ancient Egyptians did in the pyramids.
Yeah, except they set it up right outside his like room where the unicorn is or whatever, and then it all comes down to they're about to kill the unicorn, and then Jack and Gump's like, you gotta kill her, she's a bad guy now, and he's like, no, I trust her, because that's came earlier.
See, during this scene right here, when Gump's trying to like kill the bitch, I thought Gump was gonna turn out to be like part of the guy's henchman or something like that, because he was seem like so like kill her. I thought I was like, oh, that he's the darkness or something like that. But no,
I got it that he really thought that she was turn to evil. And
Yeah.
you have to kill her to save the unicorn.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I trust her. And then, of course, she doesn't kill the unicorn. She frees the unicorn.
Yay.
I mean, he just caught it with a net a few minutes ago. So it's not that hard. So anyway, the unicorn runs away. The darkness smacks the princess, which pisses off Jack. And so he gets down there and they get into a fight until, the light traps explodes, opens the door somehow, and shines onto the darkness after Jack throws the unicorn's horn into his stomach, and then chops off his arm to get the unicorn horn back and kicks him off into space somehow.
Yeah, into the void, yeah.
So he kicks him into space, and the day is saved.
Although you think he's in space now, like in complete darkness, he'd be the strongest ever.
Yeah,
because light is a vacuum for like everything. So like, I'm in space. I'm a god now. Nah, that doesn't happen.
I forgot to bring it up. Where did Jack's sword go? Because it disappeared after the hag fight.
I don't remember.
Because he was fighting with his spears against the guy. His sword just disappeared.
Oh, I know he dropped it in the water because it was so heavy. Well, he did decapitate. I don't know.
So I guess the smack put the princess unconscious.
Yes.
For whatever. And she's under a spell and he won't wake up. And so Gump is going to go glue the unicorn horn back onto the other unicorn, I guess.
I love that visual a lot. It's hilarious.
And Jack takes the princess back to the lake where he threw the ring in. He jumps in the water, he finds the ring, puts the ring back on to the princess's hand, and then kisses her. True love's kiss. She wakes up. Question beforehand. She was in the evil dress beforehand. Now she's in a regular dress. Did Jack strip her and change her clothes?
Wait for how the twist is supposed to happen, TJ.
She wakes up and she says, "Was that all a dream?" It wasn't a dream, no. So
it was a dream. Now she's in this dress and all this happened and it happened.
But it wasn't a dream. They specifically say it's not a dream.
Do they?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, we went through all that terrible stuff. It's over now.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention at this part. So, okay, yeah. And maybe he did. Did he really undress her and put her in that? Unless the other guys did it, and then maybe the fairy did it. Maybe the fairy.
I don't know. I just when they said confirmed it wasn't a dream, I was like, oh, so who changed their dress?
That's disgusting.
Yeah. Anyways, so
maybe it magically turned into that.
Maybe because she's not corrupted anymore, it turned back. Because it was technically she never did get undressed. She got magic into it.
Yes. Let's chalk up the magic.
Okay, we'll trumpet up the magic and not have the disturbance scene in our heads.
Yes.
Okay. So she's up. They say they confess their love for each other, but she mentions that I'm a princess, you're a guy. We could still be friends and stuff. But I'm going to go home now.
Yeah,
I'll come back tomorrow. This is a platonic thing here from now on, which I kind of like. I'm not going to lie.
Nah.
It was like, oh, so they're not together.
But
interesting.
You let him on this whole time. You knew what he was about. He showed you some magical unicorns. You guys did all of this bullshit just to be friends with benefits with him. Come on. That movie sucks.
What?
Sorry, Jack. Bullshit. Sorry, buddy. I just see you as a friend. I got someone back at home I'm talking to.
To be fair,
he's a prince and clean. He actually washes his balls out, not in the fucking lake, you nasty dog. Come on.
I don't think he was really into the idea of the prince thing anyway. He didn't seem like he was. But yeah, so she goes home. He goes his own way. The unicorns are back together because I guess the glue worked. And everything's happily ever after. The end. 2
boobless hours of bullshit.
I didn't have a bad time with it.
I hated it.
It dragged for me, but I did not hate it. I think it was a below average movie, but I don't think it was as bad as you're making it out to be.
There's very little, if anything, that was redeemable to this movie for me, honestly. I just did not have a fun time. I was not enjoying anything. I mean, that's a lot. There's like a handful of just like grains of salt in this movie I enjoyed, but overall it's like, why did I have to sit here and watch this? I wasn't having fun. The characters weren't likable to me. The scenery, the imagery wasn't likable. Like there's some cool like still images overall, and there's like some cool character choices. But other than that, it's not enough to make the movie good or me to recommend it to anyone.
I think it's an interesting movie.
Like what?
I think it's got enough in it to just experience, essentially.
Like, what would you want to experience out of this, though?
Like, I think the costume design is really interesting, and I think the design is really good. And I think the acting is weird enough that some people could get into it.
See, I think I would counter those points are just my own. Like the only costume worth seeing is Tim Curry's costume. Everyone else is like nothing unique.
You say that, but people appreciate it and stuff, and there are intricately designed things in here that you just don't like because you don't like the genre.
No. I like animatronics. I like that kind of stuff. But it's just this movie, like the Sea Witch. She was cool, but like I've seen that in other things. I haven't seen Tim Curry's Devil before, so like okay, this is unique to me. But I've seen little elves and dwarves and goblins before, better than this. It's just like and the acting isn't too weird enough for me to be like, watch it for the acting, guys. Trust me. It's just weird enough to be like, okay, they're kind of off, but that's that.
Like I'm just saying, this movie, I don't know if it won Oscars. It just says Oscar for best makeup. You know,
You would know if it won. It didn't win. I don't think.
it won. It did win an award for best cinematography.
Yeah, but awards are awards. This is art. It's all subjective.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying though, and it is become a cult classic in recent years.
Cult classics are cult classics for a reason.
Right.
Well, a certain amount of people will like this for certain reasons, and I'm not one. It's not a cult classic for me, obviously.
But I'm just saying, Cooties isn't a fucking cult classic.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. That's why our reviews are different. That's why this is like a 1 or a 2 for me. It's just not for me, obviously. If you give this like an 8, 9, or 10, yeah, you're part of the cult who likes this.
I'm not giving it. I'm not even.
I know
close
you're not.
To that.
I was just giving examples. I know.
I just don't think it's a 1 or a 2.
For me, it is. It's so close to a 1. But I don't give things 1s. I can't. This is like the closest thing to a 1 for me.
The movies you choose to make bad movies are not the worst ones we have seen by a long shot.
Exactly. And I'm not making these bad movies. I've said this so many times. It's my mood in the moment.
I would argue 3 of the 4 movies that you made me watch is worse than this movie.
Peanut Butter Falcon's more enjoyable than this. Cooties, I would rather watch Cooties again, honestly. Because I remembered Cooties fondly. Even if I didn't like it, more than I remember this. The other 2 I can't remember I picked. So what the other 2 I picked? La La Land, as it had something, could have been something. And what's the other one? Oh, Annihilation. It was pretty. It was...
Wow. You couldn't even remember your own picks. You can't tell me you're gonna forget this movie.
I can't forget something I adamantly hate. I hate this movie.
I'm just saying
so much. I remember Wonder Woman, like, oh, well, men are right all of a sudden. Like, bad. This is just bad to me. I had no enjoyment watching this. None. I was just like,
you're crazy, man.
Nah. Like, my final score, I'll give my score. I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 10. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. Didn't like it.
I mean, that's your opinion, but it's wrong.
It's my art. My opinion on this art piece. Didn't care for it. It was like I felt like I was getting shit into my mouth the whole time. Like,
I'm at a 4.
A 4? That's still a bad movie.
Yeah, and I told you it was a bad movie, but I just didn't think it's the worst movie we've ever watched by a long shot.
I think this is on par with the Batman and Robin. Whatever the shit one I didn't like, it's on par with that.
It's not even close. Your movies were worse than both these movies.
I don't think so. I think this is very bad. I hated this movie.
You are so wrong.
You have anything else to say about Legend, TJ? Anything in its defense you want to say?
The only defense that I need to say about this movie is that you're wrong.
Yeah, but like, what do you like about it? What warrants it a 4 for you?
Like I said, I don't think it's the acting or anything is bad. I think it's poorly directed, and I don't hate the tropes that are in the movie. I think they're not unique, but they're not, it's not, at the time that this movie came out, they were still kind of new, you know what I mean, to the large screen, and just seeing something fantasy on live action is an experience that wasn't as common as it was today. So I'm a little more forgiving to it, and I'm just into fantasy in general. So I like the stories of inner turmoil and good and evil and stuff like that.
I respect that. I respect that a lot.
And I didn't have to suffer through artsy bullcrap that you make me watch.
I don't know, man. It felt pretty artsy and bullcrappy for an hour and 53. Felt pretty bad.
No, it was artsy in the way that it was designed and looked.
Yeah.
But the story is no, it's so too cookie cutter to be artsy.
That's the problem, though. Like, it was just so like forgettable. Like I was just like,
This movie is not
Ugh.
forgettable. You can't say it's forgettable.
I've expected. I'll give you the only expectation I have for this movie going in more Tim Curry's Devil, where we want to call it Darkness. I expect more from that.
He should have been
barely in this damn thing.
He should have been in it more, definitely.
Yeah.
But
And when he's in it, like he's talking to the princess trying to woo her, like that section of the movie is like we said, we just zoned out most of it because it was so blah. It's like this is the Devil people kept talking about, like how cool and awesome he is. Like,
well, I don't think anybody's was saying how cool and awesome the character is. Just the way it looked was cool.
Yeah. And that's why I expected more from him. And that's it. That's the only expectation I had.
Yeah, I mean, I get why they didn't put more of him in there, because he was kind of building it up to the reveal of the thing. And at the time, if you saw that and you didn't know what you were getting into, it would have been like, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that. Yes.
So, that was Legend.
That was Legend. Yes. That was a mistake.
No, the mistake was letting you choose a theme month.
So far, both our themes are pretty much blah, in my opinion.
Well, no, mine is blah. Yours is like, no.
I think Willow is the highest rating we have so far for 5.
Yeah, exactly.
But even that's still like forgettable and like blah. Like I could easily give that movie a 4 because I don't care about Willow.
To be fair, I chose the first 2 dark fantasy movies from the lower spectrum end, based on their cult classic status and nostalgia. But the next 2,
they better be something, man.
They are on the popular end of the dark fantasy genre.
Oh man, I've got a bad taste in my mouth. It can't get any worse than this, obviously. So it's got to be better than a 2. But my God, TJ, if they're not, I'll be really upset.
Well, your 2 is different than other people's 2, so
yeah, that's true. Mine's more firm. It's solid because I eat more junk food.
Whatever.
2 is a poop joke. Let's end this,
please.